model that has pre-lightened hair as well as extensions. We will be doing a dimensional highlight low light, and I'm going to turn her and we can go through her hair. She's a natural level 5.5. She wants to be a 6, but she's really not a 6. She's a 5.5. And you can see her extensions. She has some brown ones in here that are the wrong tone, so we're going to have to correct the tone. It's a little too warm up against her natural. And then her highs, she needs some more depth in there because you can see throughout her natural she has more of her lowlights going through. So we're going to create a balance between her natural and the extensions with highlights and lowlights. We're also going to add some highlights through this area up here because she's very dark. And we're wanting them to marry well together. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's go over here. We don't need to do a lot over here. This is the side of her. Let's do the micro pieces. So minute amount of hair. See, look, here's the two different blondes. Here's the lightest pale blonde, and here's her medium to light blonde. So did she order the right colors in blonde? Absolutely, but we just need some more depth. We need some more brown. Could she order another bundle of the brown? She could, but we would still need to color it as we're doing to the underneath hair. So you can see how fine those pieces are right there. And you can see when I'm bringing it up, I'm never putting a solid line. I'm always shattering it in there. And now is where we're going to start with highlighting, low lighting, all of this. Let's try to get a cleaner section. Pulling the hair up. Okay, so now let's start. We're going to try to work in more of a horizontal line straight across. See if the extensions will work with us here. There they go. And you can see here we need to add highlights. Look at this hair right here. It definitely needs highlights. If you look all the way down the shaft. So let's do, again, some slice skip slices. Nice and tight to her scalp. Here you can see I'm taking it all the way up to her basically scalp area. Fold it up. Here I'm not concerned about the sides. Still working on more of a horizontal. Seeing what the hair is. Let's see how many highs we have in this one. Okay, we're going to do both in this one. We're going to do a high first, and then we're going to take and do some lows. Let's get a better sectioning. And I'm going to do the highlights first, because it's a smaller foil. Because if you look at the extensions, they're placed nicely for the highlights. But here, we need to add more highs through here, a little bit more depth down through here. Slice, skip, slice, slip. See all that? Nice and tight. All the way up. The last thing you need is someone that's wanting to be blonde to have regrowth. They're not going to be happy with you or your service. See, I'm keeping it pretty wet, and then product-wise. Fold it up. Now basically, let's pull the hair down. Remember, we're going to go back and do the low now. Nice and tight. This is basically on the top of her head, so these need to be so fine to where it doesn't look like you low lighted with an artificial pigment. They're very hard to do microweaves. So you see how you have to look at each section. You can't go with, you know, oh, I need to put 2 lows, 3 highs. You have to look for each section, what it means. Okay, let's do the next section. Still working on a horizontal. That is just screaming at you, saying that you need to do a highlight. See how dark that is? Actually, let's take that a little bit smaller. So you can see we need no lows here. These are all highs. Nice and tight. We're not going to forget about that hair. But we're still working on a horizontal up. Look how brown that is. She definitely needs some highlights in there. Pull a little bit over that. No, I'm not. Edward.
Thank you. I like that shirt.
Both. I need more. See, I'm still just working up that head this way. You see I need a little less highlights. We still need to touch it up. That wonderful extension's right there. I'm not going to add any lows to it either. Well, let's finish this one and then look at it and see if we need to add any lows to it. And you can see I'm not overly saturating these ends. Yes, are they living in the platinum? They are, but they're not going to get so saturated like this area here. They're already pre-lightened. Let's look. Do we need any lows through here? Let's wait. Let's keep on working and see what we come up with. We're really saturating that one piece right there that had a good low light in it from her previous coloring. Right there. Top of the head, so we want to make sure it's nice and saturated. Okay, let's look again. Let's look. Do we need it? We're going to do that section over there. Okay. Yes, let's just add just like a micro fine weave. Really, really fine. So see how fine this is? A lot of people would say, oh, that's not worth it. Oh, but it is worth it. This is the top of her head.
Definitely.
You can see I'm not concentrating all the way up.
So how are you and your boyfriend? Oh, what are you guys? Oh, how's dinner done?
my dad was wasted, he needed to be completely politically incorrect about several different issues.
Okay, let's come over on this side. Let's look over here.
Buy himself an Asian wife, and then my father and I got into a debate about whether or not an Asian or a Russian wife would be cheaper.
And how was he with all this?
He just sounds like that. He's like, the family hasn't changed at all. And then my dad.
Okay, let's look right through here. This is this hair. Do we want to do this? Nope. Looks good. Let's go a little bit further up into it. Okay, here's some pieces. We need to low light these. Look here. I want you to look. I'm looking all the way up here, and then I'm looking at this hair right here. So you can see we're going to put a low light on these extensions here, but I'm going to go back and put a highlight right through here. It just needs to be brighter. So is it a format that we're used to highlighting? No. Again, it's about what you see the hair needs in the place that you're working on. Here's the low. Nice and saturated again.
I feel that we already did that last time, and I don't think that we need that much this time. So I'm going to slightly...
So let's pick up this hair that's living right over here. Is it a clean, perfect line? No, it's not a clean, perfect line. But let's see.
Whoa!
Really? You said that?
Yeah, but it was like a good...
We're going to do it on a diagonal just because this is where the hair is.
It was funny.
Nice pressure. You see my pressure still with the highlight.
Then we have a costume party for one of his friends and a costume party for one of my friends. It's going to be very, yeah, it's going to be very long late night.
Okay.
We've got two different houses. One's downtown.
See how important it is to literally look at the hair where it lives. Again, let's take our section smaller.
Where my house is. I'm only 2 doors down from the other party is. But this weekend, I went out with my friend.
We definitely don't want to give our model too many lows for the front frame of her face. She, again, likes to be blonde around her face. So what we can do is, you'll see when we start doing our weave, we will be heavier on this side, lighter on this side. So she will still feel nice and bright. But as you can see, there's no low lights here. Micro weave here. Again, she doesn't want to be majorly brown, and let's just make them a little more aggressive as we go back. Customizing the color per guest as you would if they didn't have extensions in their hair. So we've just finished the foiling and the dimensional coloring with the natural hair and the extensions. I'm going to spin her around. So you can see through here, you can tell which ones are the lowlights and you can tell which ones are the highlights. The highlights are the short folded ones, the lowlights are the back-to-backs. And you can see, like up at the front left-hand side, we basically, once we foiled the blonde, we went back and looked at the hair that's living there and then grabbed some pieces, microwaved them again, and low-lighted them. The top few pieces are all blonde. We touched up her natural level 5.5, and it's going to look wonderful.